Greetings. My name is Louise Dente, and I welcome you to yet another edition of Cultural Caravan. On this edition is a special as we celebrate our pre-Kwanzaa community empowerment event. And we're joined by two distinguished guests. To my far right, and I call him the professor of the airwaves, Brother Basim Chawi, who is also a host of WBAI Radio. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
And next to him, our featured guest this segment is the 10th successor to the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, President General Michael Duncan. Welcome back.
Thank you, sister.
You know, I am just, when you think about it, and I just want to, first of all, say that we've had the pleasure of having you as well as your Assistant President General, Brother Raymond Duguay on several occasions. But I'm just so excited because, you know, this time, as you know, a lot of people are reflecting. This has been a unique year, but the work that you have been doing in terms of resurrecting the work, the legacy of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey is phenomenal, and particularly as it relates to his dream of actually having a base in Africa and Liberia in particular. So before I go forward, can you just basically tell us a bit about what is, for those who've been on the moon somewhere, who don't know, what is the Universal Negro Improvement Association, founded by the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, briefly before we get started?
Yes, the UNIA-ACL, Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. You know, Mr. Garvey, I at that time have a little doubt about the N for Negro. However, he used the African Communities League to facilitate it and make it smooth. However, this government was built for us as a people. We didn't have anywhere to turn. We didn't have anyone to defend us. Mr. Garvey built this movement. As such, Mr. Garvey asked those prominent questions. Where is the black man king and his kingdom? Where is his government? Mr. Garvey said, I couldn't find them, therefore I'm going to help you build them. Based on those statements, we saw what Mr. Garvey did. We saw this great government here who hired in excess of 5,000 people in Harlem back in the 1920s, and it was supposed to flow over into Africa. We had another 5,000 employees around the world. He set the benchmark for us. And right now, all I'm doing, I don't have to be smart. I don't have to think anything great, because the black prints were left to us by our ancestors, Mr. Garvey and our great ancestors. All we have to do is to follow those prints that left for us. Since ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, this was the first time we have seen this type of movement during the Garvey period, where we were prominent, where we were owning business. One sister said, you know, but I feel like I own half of the world being a member of the UNIA, and I didn't own the next half because I didn't want it. So we have to thank the ancestors for sending this great brother who came and brought these black prints for us. All we have to do now, my dear sister, is just to follow these black prints.
And you say black prints rather than blueprints. Very important thing like that. So the work is laid out. Basically, thinking about the black prints, that the prints, the following in the footsteps of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Tell us about that. What made you decide to join? And how has it been to serve as the 10th successor in a line of leaders from the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey? How was that for you?
Sister, I was born on the island of Jamaica. I lived there until I was 14, being educated by a British system that speaks negatively about African, speak negative about all other African people wherever they live except Jamaica. So I was brought up with the mentality that Jamaicans are superior and Jamaicans are this, and I'm nothing else but a Jamaican. Until 14, that's what I believed. Coming to these shores was one of the greatest things that happened to me because I got the opportunity of meeting a brother from South Carolina, a sister from Georgia, an elder from New York, and even people from the continent and the other islands. I started high school in Brooklyn. I went to Prospect Heights High School. And sister, at 17, I stumbled upon the book Philosophy and Opinion of Marcus Garvey. Sister, after reading that book, after completing that book, it changed my outlook, completely. Prior to that, I didn't like to read because I thought I knew everything. I thought a teacher couldn't teach me anything because all I had to do was to read a book and I would know more than the teacher. So I would never read. But after reading the philosophy and opinion of Marcus Garvey, the first thing it let me know that I'm in fact not a Jamaican. I'm an African born in Jamaica. And that was clear to me at the age of 17. Then I started reading about Liberia. And at 17, I wanted to move to Liberia. Didn't know where it existed or how I was going to get there, but I wanted to go there because I was reading there in the philosophy and opinion of Marcus Garvey. But what that book did for me, it opened me up to want to read more about Dessalines. It opened me up to want to learn about the pyramids. It opened me up to want to learn that some of the things I learned in high school, I just finished learning algebra maybe a year and a half before, and they're telling us about Pythagorean theory. That it was a lie. They didn't create that theory. We did in ancient Kemet. So reading Garvey and Garveyism, it set the tone for me. Sister, at this point, most of us do not get the opportunity to do what we were sent here to do. I am blessed by our ancestors in putting me through these channels that I know what I am here for. And I'm here for the one purpose to help develop that platform for our people. But I realize that while we're going to build here, we must have a base in Africa. I'm serving as the 10th President General. You know, I worked in the city council here. I ran for office previously. But people right now are telling me to run for office. I said, I'm the President General now of the UNIA. That's the highest position I can ever hold. So I'm comfortable. But being in this role, I couldn't dream because I'm walking in some shoes that is 2-3 times my size. But I can only walk in these shoes if I have my brothers and my sisters. That's why Brother Raymond is a loyal soldier. Known him for 20 years. He has never told me no. And as I think about the plans and think about what to do, sister, I give it to him to do for me. And he does it. Anything where it pertains to the UNIA. If I tell him, brother, I need $50,000 to do an investment for the UNIA, he doesn't ask me what I need it for. He just gives it to me. And then I have so many other brothers and sisters who are in the struggle. Sister, I listen to so many of our scholars. And when I see some of our scholars and in their later days and when they get sick and ill, they have to go into other people's institution. Sister, it doesn't make me feel good. So I said we have to develop our economic conditions that we can secure these places and build our places where our people, Brother Amos shouldn't have to go to certain institution. And so many of our leaders who have taught us, who have educated us, when they work for us, We must be prepared to finance them in their later years. Dr. Jeffries is one of my favorite. There's nothing that brother will ask me for that I cannot do and will not do. But sister, we are here, brother, we're here. We have to do the work. We cannot tell our people. We have to show them. So that leads us into doing what Mr. Garvey prescribed. As I said, the black prints are here.
Can you talk about the Garvey vision for Africa? Because one of the things you're attempting to do now is to actually bring that vision to fruition.
Yes, yes, my dear brother. Mr. Garvey came here in these United States, and he started originally asking for lands here that we could make our own government. Very quickly, Garvey realized that it's not going to work here because the big apple is here and the ruling body has the apple. We're striving for that apple, meaning that there's going to be a clash. So Mr. Garvey ultimately said, Africa must be our guiding star and our stars of destiny. Therefore, while we're building every place else, we must have a home. The 12 commandments of black consciousness teaches us, develop your home. Africa, land of origin. For without a home, we cannot flourish to our fullest potential. And that's what's happening. Jamaicans are thinking that they're different from the brothers and sisters here in North America. Brothers and sisters here in North America thinking that they're different from the brothers and sisters elsewhere. But we have an opportunity now, more than ever, to build what Mr. Garvey visioned and planned. Remember, Mr. Garvey sent pioneers. Mr. Garvey sent shipload and shipload of equipment to build that city. Once that city was established, where Firestone is located right now, Mr. Garvey and our people would have taken back Africa from the invaders and everybody else. But the world looked at it and they asked themselves, are we going to let this one man derail what we have been planning for over 200 years? So they had to destroy Mr. Garvey. But Mr. Garvey said it best. He said, you have gotten the tiger. However, my cubs are roaming. We saw cubs in the form of Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, our great brother, great brothers and sisters, Malcolm X, the great Carlos Cooks. So right now, the ancestors have lined up the stars so we can do this work in Liberia right now, where no one is going to tell us you can't do this. The brothers and sisters, they're ready for this. They're hearing something else. What Mr. Garvey did to say that city, he started the planning in 1919. It was supposed to be completed by 1925. We started planning La Liberty Farm in 2019. We will build a city by 2025. But we need each and every African on the globe, especially the Africans here in these United States, North America, the Africans here, the brothers and sisters here, they face the worst slave masters. So they understand. So it's for us to organize with our brothers and sisters and build in Africa. But first, we need our brothers and sisters to be willing to travel to Africa, to see for yourself, to be a part of the Lion Historian team, to first dispel those negative myths and to build. So right now, we're on the African continent building Liberty Farm. But I'll hold just in case you have any more statement or question. But if you want me to continue,
No.
please let me know.
Well, I mean, the thing at this particular point, which would follow, is to talk about the scope of your work currently going on in Liberia.
Yes. Brother, I went to Liberia in 2019 and we start securing some lands. Secure 386 acres in one area. There's an area close to the airport. We secured about 50 acres. And we said, let's start the agriculture thing. We're planting roughly on 50 acres. We're planting cabbage. lettuce, tomatoes, anything you can think of. The basic thing that our people eat there in Liberia, bitter balls, potato greens. We want to show our people that we can grow our food. We don't have to rely on Ivory Coast. We don't have to rely on anybody else. We can grow our food because we believe that agriculture is the order of the day. So what we did, we cut a road through the forest, 3 kilometers. Some of these people who had never left that area, they had never seen a car before. Until we cut that road, a car has never driven into that area. So we were able to hire about 120 people to clean the farm, build a fence, and prepare. Right now, we have 30 individuals working on the farm on a regular basis, another 30 working, building the chicken house, building the greenhouse, building the farmhouse. So at any given time, we have about 65 people. But this is only the gist of it. Liberty Farm is there. We're going to buy 10 acres to make Liberty Park. We have another 3 acres where we're going to put the Marcus Garvey Academy. And we're getting 150 acres to do vegetable farming. Then, when I go back next week, I'm securing 3,000 acres to plant long-term products. What we said, we will feed Liberia. We will build the economic system. The local people, the indigenous people in Liberia, they have it rough because the American Liberians treated them like slaves. Worse than their slave master father treated them. So right now we have 2 local UNIA chapters in Liberia, and they're growing. These young brothers and sisters are seeing something different. But what we have done in the community that we are farming, we gave the brothers and sisters seeds for them to farm. Since we have the trucks and we have the equipment, now we don't want to tell them. We have to show them. So Liberty Farm is growing, growing, growing. Right now, we're sending in equipment. And the good thing, the president had passed an executive order 102, wherein we can bring in any form of farming equipment without any taxes. So we have trailer loads and trailer loads. But the people are happy. The government is excited because Israel was to come there and do some agriculture. We're telling them that we don't need any outsiders. We can do it. We can teach our people. We will build that city from Liberty Farm. My thing, I would love for each and every one of you, both of you and everybody else, to come and see what we're doing in Liberia. Telling you, honestly, doesn't do justice to what we're doing. But our objective, that street that we're on, the farm address is 1000 Marcus Garvey Drive. That's the name of the road. The school will be at 1887 Marcus Garvey Drive, and the park will be at 1940 Marcus Garvey Drive.
You know, you basically talked and again, actualized. I mean, I think about what the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey went through and the vision and knowing that one of his cubs, yourself and the brothers and sisters and everyone, would come back years later to Liberia, of all places, and actually set into motion what we can do and showing it is possible. And that's so important because, as I said, I'm always talking about that person on the other side of the tube who maybe doesn't think this is possible or feels that we're just talking. Oh, it's just a lot of black folks, a lot of people say. But the actual thing, the reason why we wanted you here today, I know our time is moving out right now, but I want people to understand that it is possible, that you've actually used this opportunity to go and develop, and not just the farm, you have a school, you have a base where people can come. Not only is it employing the local people there in Liberia who certainly need the opportunity. So they now see people coming from the West, not to exploit.
That's the main thing, sister.
Because, those of our brothers and sisters who migrated hundreds of years ago, unfortunately, were under colonialism. They were brought there without the knowledge of self. and they were not, so unfortunately, you're talking about generations of people who came there not understanding who they were and their connection to those Africans there. But now for them to see Africans coming from the diaspora, coming back to support, to build, is phenomenal. And for those out there, because unfortunately the time is gone, who might want to find out how they can get connected to the work that you and the UNIA-ACL are doing, could you please give us some information, some contact information?
First of all, we have The Rock, and it's a wholesale retail supermarket. You can stop by The Rock. You will get all the information. 13205 Merrick Boulevard. Brother Raymond, you can reach out to Brother Raymond, 718-570-7350. You will get all the information you want. But brothers and sisters, just make the first move.
And, as I said, this is very critical because, as I said, this is an opportunity. First of all, we want to salute and commend you personally because I am sure that there are others who preceded you in the role, but you've actually made a big step to actually take Marcus Garvey back to the continent and actually provide an opportunity for those of us abroad who want to come back, as well as those on the continent who will need those opportunities. So I just want to personally thank you and the brothers and sisters of the UNIA-ACL as well. And I know you want to say one comment, and then my brother will.
Yes, yes. I want to say one more thing. Brothers and sisters, over the last 6 months, we have seen what transpired here in these United States, the killing of our people all over. Brothers and sisters, we have to create another place just in case we need to leave. I have a feeling that there's going to come a time when we might want to leave and we won't be able to leave. But until you're ready, we are creating that environment in Africa for you to give you a choice. Just in case you want to visit, just in case you want to stay for a while, just in case you want to live. Brothers and sisters, Mr. Garvey said it best. He said, chance has never yet satisfied the hopes of a suffering people. Let's not rely on chance. Please join our ranks. Give us a call. Thank you.
And I guess what we should all be talking about is, well, organizing our trip to Liberia.
All right. I would love that, brother. I would love that.
Well, again, I just want to say on behalf of Cultural Caravan, I want to thank you both for two very powerful conversations in terms of taking us to looking at our history, our purpose, and looking at the strength of the seven principles, as well as this manifest in the work that's going on right now on the continent. So again, I want to thank you, Brother Basir. I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast, and we continue to encourage you to tune in, to write, and to tell a friend. But until next time, Louise Dente saying thank you. If you would like to support these broadcasts, we encourage you to send contributions to P.O. Box 300851, Jamaica, New York 11430. Thank you. Let's welcome Joe Patan.
They jumping in the city, West Indian happy, happy whole time.